Welcome, paranormal enthusiasts and seekers of the unexplained. Today, we're journeying to a quiet street in Gary, Indiana, to uncover a story so terrifying it's backed by hundreds of pages of official government documents. This is the Ammons Haunting, a case that shook police officers, medical staff, and child protective services to their core. What happened inside the house on Carolina Street that led to its ultimate destruction? Let's find out. Our story begins in November 2011, when Latoya Ammons, her mother, Rosa, and her 3 children moved into a rental home at 3860 Carolina Street. It seemed like a fresh start, but the house had other plans. The first sign that something was deeply wrong wasn't a whisper or a shadow, but something far more visceral. Even though it was the dead of winter, with snow on the ground, the screened-in porch became infested with huge black horseflies. They would swarm, die, and then reappear, day after day, defying all logic and weather. This was just the beginning of their nightmare. Soon after the fly infestation, the family's sense of peace was completely shattered. Inside the house, a dark, heavy presence made itself known. They would hear the unmistakable sound of heavy, booted footsteps climbing up the stairs from the basement, even when no one was down there. The creak of the door between the kitchen and the basement opening on its own became a regular, chilling occurrence. Footprints, wet and muddy, would appear on the living room floor out of nowhere, leading from the basement door and then disappearing. The family knew they weren't alone. They felt a constant sense of being watched, an oppressive energy that was growing stronger and more malevolent by the day. The activities soon escalated from strange noises to direct, terrifying physical manifestations targeting the children. Latoya's 12-year-old daughter became a focal point for the entity. One night, a friend who was staying over screamed in terror. When Latoya and her mother rushed in, they found the daughter levitating unconscious several feet above her bed. They said she was completely limp, as if being held up by an invisible force. The group, which included other adults, prayed intensely until the girl slowly descended back onto the mattress. When she woke up, she had no memory of the event. This wasn't a dream or a hallucination. It was witnessed by multiple people, a horrifying sign that the family was in grave danger. Desperate for answers and terrified for her children, Latoya sought help from doctors and her church. She believed her family was under demonic attack. During one doctor's visit, the paranormal activity followed them. While Latoya was explaining the bizarre events at home to a physician, medical staff witnessed her 7-year-old son's eyes rolled back in his head. He began speaking in a deep, unnatural voice, making threats. Then, to their absolute shock, the boy was violently lifted and thrown against a wall as if by an unseen assailant. He didn't just fall, he was propelled. The medical professionals in the room had no explanation for what they had just seen. This event triggered an investigation by Child Protective Services, or CPS, as authorities began to suspect abuse or mental illness might be at play. The involvement of CPS brought in even more official witnesses to the high strangeness. A veteran CPS case manager, Valady Washington, was assigned to the case. During an evaluation at a hospital, she and a registered nurse were interviewing Latoya and her 9-year-old son. What they saw next would be entered into official record and defy all rational explanation. The boy, with a weird grin on his face, calmly walked backward up the wall, flipped over onto the ceiling, and landed on his feet on the floor. He didn't stumble or scramble. He just walked as if gravity didn't apply to him. Both the seasoned caseworker and the nurse were utterly terrified, fleeing the room and confirming that the events Latoya described were not fiction. This wasn't a mother's delusion. This was something real and witnessed by trained professionals. News of the bizarre case eventually reached the Gary Police Department. Captain Charles Austin, a 36-year veteran of the force, was a hardened skeptic. He was certain he could debunk the entire story. He visited the house, initially believing it was all a hoax to get better housing. But his skepticism quickly vanished. Inside the cursed home, his police radio began to malfunction wildly, filled with static and strange voices. His recording equipment failed repeatedly. During one investigation, he felt a strange sensation and instinctively took a photo with his phone. Later, when he looked at the picture, he saw a cloudy, white figure standing in the room. A shape that hadn't been there when he took the shot. He was so shaken by his experiences in the house that he refused to ever enter it again after dark. The veteran cop was now a believer. This case is unique because of the sheer volume of official documentation. We aren't just relying on the family's story. The Ammons Haunting is detailed in nearly 800 pages of official government records from the Department of Child Services. It's backed by signed police reports from multiple officers, including a police captain. It includes sworn testimony from medical personnel, nurses, and social workers. These are credible, trained observers who all reported witnessing paranormal events they could not explain, from levitation to wall walking to disembodied voices. The Catholic Church also became involved, with a priest performing multiple exorcisms on the family and the home, labeling it a case of demonic possession. After the Ammons family finally fled the home in 2012, the story of the portal to Hell House became a media sensation. The property sat vacant, a dark stain on the neighborhood. In 2014, it was purchased by Zach Bagans, the host of the popular ghost hunting show Ghost Adventures. Bagans investigated the house for his documentary, Demon House, and reported experiencing intense and aggressive paranormal activity. He and his crew suffered from unexplained illnesses, strange emotional outbursts, and technical malfunctions. The energy in the house was described as overwhelmingly negative and dangerous. Bagans came to believe that the property was a gateway and that the entity within was too powerful to be contained. Ultimately, Zach Bagans made a drastic decision. In 2016, believing the house was a genuine threat to public safety and anyone who might trespass or attempt to live there, he had it demolished. He stood and watched as the structure that had been the site of so much terror and official documentation was torn down, piece by piece. His goal was to close the portal for good. Today, only an empty lot remains where the house on Carolina Street once stood. The story of the Ammons Haunting serves as one of the most well-documented and terrifying paranormal cases in American history, leaving us to wonder what truly happened within those walls. What do you think? Was this a case of mass hysteria, or did the Ammons family, along with police and medical staff, truly encounter a demonic force? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoy exploring the world's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Stay curious and stay safe.